Hi everyone, welcome to the overview of the course lecture. This is for EDUC 517 DLB. I'm Dr. Heilbrenner, and this short lecture will take you through the course and the syllabus. It's helpful to have the syllabus in front of you, but it's not completely necessary. The first thing you need to understand is that the syllabus is your contract with the instructor. So it's a good idea to take some time and understand the components of the assignments and the course expectations. And that's what this lecture will do for you. Here's the first page of the syllabus. You can see it has my contact information. The phone number is probably not the best way to reach me. The best way is to email me at nheilbrenner@mercy.edu. You can see the course description, as I've said to you in emails and in the overview of the course. This course is about understanding educational learning theory and motivational theory. Academic integrity I take seriously. Basically, don't plagiarize, don't copy others' works without attributing it. And I do put most of my assignments through Safe Assign, so if you do it, you're probably going to get caught. At this level, it shouldn't be a concern, and so I'm trusting that it's not going to be. Trust but verify. If you have a disability and need an accommodation, please contact the Office of Accessibility and then submit all required documentation to me. That could be something, for example, extended time on essays or assignments. We talked about students with disabilities, counseling services. I've included the number there. Mercy College does have a free counseling service to students and to faculty. I get lots of questions about Blackboard, especially if something's going wrong. I am not the Blackboard guru. I teach through it. I consider it a tool, but if you're having trouble with your computer or making something work, Mercy does really have a very good help desk that you can contact at 914-674-7526 or email them at helpdesk@mercy.edu. I've used them many times and they're generally pretty good about helping you. This course does have a fieldwork component, and the fieldwork is 10 hours long, and that includes the observation time and the time to prepare your paper and submit it. We'll be talking about that later in this recording. My policies are carefully crafted over a number of years. Of course, it goes without saying that you should try to do your work and get it in on time, but things happen. So I have a late policy, which is you can submit most assignments up to a week after they're due, and I will take 10% as a point penalty. A few exceptions to that: you can't submit the fieldwork or the extra credit vocabulary assignment late, and you can't submit discussion posts late. I'll be talking about why in a bit. All papers need to be typed and submitted using Microsoft Word, double-spaced, and utilizing APA documentation. And we're actually going to spend some time talking about what that looks like so that you'll have a clear understanding of that. If you haven't used APA before, that stands for American Psychological Association, and it is the industry standard in education. I've put on the course site some resources in the writing folder to help you with that, but we'll have a whole assignment about it. Most assignments can be revised. This means that up to a week after it's graded, you can resubmit most assignments for a higher grade. You'll never get a lower grade. You'll only get a higher grade if you revise, or if you don't change it, obviously, you'll get the same grade. Here's our student learning outcomes. You can take a look at those and see what they are, things that you should be able to do by the end of the course. Here's your required textbook. Be sure to get the 13th edition of Educational Psychology by Robert Slavin. You don't need to get the lab. You can rent it, you can buy it, you can get it in hard copy, you can get it in you can get it as an ebook, but you do need to get the right version, the 13th edition. So the course is graded based on a number of assignments. What I call course points, because I make everything total up to 100, are actually percentages. So the learning modules are worth 30 course points, or 30% of your grade. There's an assignment called Interview with a Psychologist that's worth 20% of your grade. Theory midterm, yes, there'll be a midterm in the class that's worth 25% of your grade. Your field work, which is called Theory to Observation, is worth 25% of your grade. That totals 100. And then there's a 2-point extra credit vocabulary assignment. I'll be talking briefly about each of these assignments in a bit. I always post a column in the grade book that says your current grade, and so you can look and see if you have a 91, for example, currently, you can see you've got an A-. You'll note that because this is a graduate course, even though a number of you are undergraduates, there is no grade below a C. So you can't get a D in this course, you have to get a C or you're failing. And you can see the ranges there. So the first thing you need to understand is that there are 15 learning modules. Each module takes place over a week, and it runs from Wednesday to Tuesday night. They're all due Tuesday night by midnight. They're each worth 2 points, so 15 times 2 is 30 points, or 30% of your grade. In each module, there'll be a folder with the module. There'll be activities. It might be a discussion post, might be a video to watch, it might be another type of assignment, but you'll always open the module up. There'll be a Readme file, and there'll be a list of things that you need to do with a checklist at the end, and then you'll get it all done by Tuesday night. Usually I have these modules posted well in advance. I don't like to post them weeks in advance, but 2 or 3 days, usually I put the next one up so you can get an early start. Now, many times you'll see a discussion post in this class, particularly since we deal with strategies and classroom experiences. There are a lot of discussion posts. Each discussion will be, I divide into 2 parts. One is called a response post. That's your response to the original questions that I post. And then reaction posts. These are your reactions to colleagues. And there should be at least 2 of those. More is fine. And those should go beyond saying good job. You should be able to extend what I call extend the conversation. So, for example, if your colleague commented on a theory, you might say, yes, that's a good idea, but have you ever considered this? You might bring up another point. You might ask a question of them. You might comment by adding something from the textbook. You might comment by adding something from your own experiences. But if you just say, I really like your post, good job, you're not going to get full credit on your discussion. Discussion posts are one of the few things in class that won't be accepted late, and some students might ask why, and here's why. So since we're not meeting as a class, we're not able to discuss things in person. And so that in-person classroom discussion where one person says something and another person comments on that is taking place through the discussion board. If you don't post in the week that the discussion board is put up, it's like you're talking in class, but everybody has gone out of the classroom and there's nobody there to hear. So if you're posting late, there's nobody reading your post. And so that's why if you don't post by Tuesday night, you won't get credit for it. You will be graded with a discussion board rubric that focuses on the original post, the response post, the reaction to 2 colleagues, and you can see here from the rubric that that takes into account how meaningful your post is. And of course, professional communication. So it's respectful, it's spelled correctly, it's grammatically correct. What a lot of students like to do, particularly with their response post, is compose it in Word and then copy and paste it into the discussion board window. Please don't post as an attachment because then everybody has to go and download your attachment and open it. It's just an extra step. Just copy and paste it right into the window. The second major assignment after the module is called the Interview with a School Psychologist or Counselor. This is worth 20% of your grade and it's due on March 8th. Basically, you're going to find a school psychologist or a counselor, a guidance counselor would do, and you're going to ask him or her some questions. And the topics are here. You can see them: introduction, job description, previous experiences, nature and contact with families. We're going into much more detail on this and all the assignments, so I'm not going to go over everything that you have to cover. Then you're going to write a paper about it. You can do your interview through Zoom or Skype or even over the phone. Obviously, you can do it in person too. So start thinking about who you might contact that's a school psychologist or a counselor. It's important to note you can't choose a teacher, a classroom teacher for this, because they have qualitatively different experiences than classroom teachers. On March 29th, you will take an online theory midterm. So the course is really divided into two parts. Up until that point, we'll be learning a lot about learning and motivation theory. You'll take a midterm and then we'll switch our focus to strategies based on those theories. And it will be an online exam and a study guide will be published. I'll give you more information later on that. The next assignment is the fieldwork paper. This is called Theory to Practice Observation, and it's worth 25% of your grade. Basically, you're going to observe teaching for 6 hours. You're either going to observe in an in-person setting in a classroom, as we traditionally do, or this semester the state is once again allowing us to observe videos for 6 hours. Then you're going to write a paper based on that assignment. This is due on May 3rd. I always tell students, don't start this yet. I wouldn't start this until probably at least the beginning of March. And the reason is you don't know enough about theories to be able to say what you're looking at. In this assignment, you're going to have to relate what you're seeing to 3 educational or motivational theories. So you can't do that yet. So just start thinking about where you might do that observation. It shouldn't be in your own classroom because you can't teach and observe at the same time. If you're a teaching assistant, it shouldn't be in a time where you are having to carry out responsibilities. You should be the fly on the wall that you can just observe. The final assignment is the vocabulary assignment. This is extra credit and optional. Like I said, it's worth up to 2 points extra credit. This is a good deal because if you, for example, have an 89 and you're coming in at an 89 in May with your course average, and you do this, it might bump you up to a 91, which would be an A minus. It's due May 10th. There's a template in the assignments folder on the course site. You simply download the template and you every week has vocabulary words. You look up the definitions, type them in the template, and then use the vocabulary meaningfully in a sentence. This helps prepare you for the vocabulary in the field, and it also helps prepare you for the EdTPA, where you have to know a lot of vocabulary. This assignment, like the fieldwork I should have mentioned, may not be revised or submitted late. So that's a little bit about the assignments. Let's talk about the course timetable. This is where you get to know what to do during the week. So for example, we're in week 1. Everything's due Tuesday, January 25th. The topic for the week is getting to know you and the course and then meeting with me. And so we're going through introductions, a course overview, and individual meetings. If there were vocabulary for the week, it would be listed there under vocabulary. the readings and assignments that are due. So everything in Module 1 is due. And you can see that this week and next week we don't really have readings and assignments. That'll pick up in, textbook assignments. That'll pick up in week 3. This week we're spending time getting to know the course, and next week we're going to spend a little time on writing, just so that you'll know how to do your papers better. So for this week, make sure you completed all the activities in the Readme file that's in the folder in week 1. You should refer to the checklist at the bottom of the file, and it's due Tuesday, January 25th. So if you go into course materials and you go into week 1, you'll find a file called Readme First. And this is a screenshot of the top of that file. It tells you you're in Learning Module 1, and the topic is getting to know you in the course. It always tells you a little bit about what you'll be doing, and then there's a list of activities that it just steps you through one at a time. And at the end, so just do the activities in the Readme file. All the resources that you need are in that week 1 folder. At the end of the Readme file, there's a checklist. So you can step through and make sure you've done all of the activities at the end. Makes it very easy. So that's it in terms of the course. Please, if you have any questions, email me nhalbrunner@mercy.edu or through the course message system. I look forward to having all of you sign up for your 15 minutes with me and answering any questions you might have. Thank you.